we've been working with him on sit and down, coming when called, go into place, kennel, heel, all that good stuff, right? So he's doing pretty good. A little slow moving, not super motivated yet, but we're going to start transitioning to him to the remote collar system. And so we're going to start with just some basic things. If you've never used a remote collar system, there is a method to teaching your dog about the remote collar system. You don't just put it on and start pressing buttons when they don't do what you want them to do. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find your dog's working level. And basically their working level is just the level at which they just start to feel something, right? Like a tickle or a tap. It's just a sensation, right? It doesn't hurt them. And that's what a lot of people think, ooh, shock collar hurts the dog. No. This is actually, these systems that we use, it uses a technology like a TENS machine, which is, a TENS machine is what they use on humans for pain relief. It's a muscle stimulant actually. So the way that you find your dog's working level is you simply start at 1, you get the collar on the dog, you make sure it's snug, you make sure once you put it on, you've kind of rubbed it around in a circle. That's called nestling. That gets the contact points down past the hair and onto the skin. And you start with 1 and you press the button a couple times and watch for any signs that your dog notices anything. Nothing happens. Go up to 2, repeat, and you keep going until you see something from the dog that it feels something. A lot of times they'll flick an ear or they'll look over to the side where the remote is at. It's like, hey, what's that? Okay. And once you find your dog's working level, then you can get to work. So what I'm going to do is with Gideon here, I'm going to start with the sit command. Let's go. Go away. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prime the command. So I'm going to do the command, I'm going to say it verbally, not using the remote, rewarding him with food, repeat, 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 several of those reps. Then I'm going to remove the word or the command and just use the pressure from the collar. Okay? The remote collar is basically, we're pairing it with leash pressure as needed. Or kind of making it, it's like an invisible leash, basically. Okay? We still have a leash on them in case he needs some guidance. It's not uncommon at first when they're feeling some new sensation for them to get a little distracted. So we have the leash if we need to guide him into position. Okay? Then I'll do some repetitions without the command and pressing and holding. That's called CS, continuous stim, and have him, respond to that. Give him a little leash guidance if he needs it to let him know, hey, that sensation that you're feeling means the same as when we used to use the leash to get you into that particular position. In this case, is sit. After I do several reps of that, then I'm going to add the command back in, pairing it with the remote. So I'll give the command and I will press and hold the button. When his bottom hits the ground, I'll say good and come off the button. All right, so that's pretty quick. Use a video, you can watch it back and listen to it. Anyway, let's go. So this is kind of Gideon's normal, how he is. He's kind of super chill and slow. Again, not real enthusiastic yet, but again, he's only been here for a week. So I'm just going to give him the command, sit, good, or I meant to say yes, actually, and give him a little piece of food. Wait, break, good, sit, yes. So right now, no remote collar, command only. I'm priming him to get him ready for when I take the command out and just use the pressure from the collar. He'll kind of know what I'm looking for because we've done it over and over. Break, good boy. Sit, yes. Break, sit, yes. Break, sit, yes. He does like food. He's not super ravenous, but he likes the food and he takes the food. Break. Sit. Yes. Good boy. So part of what we've been experiencing with Gideon is that he gets kind of like shy and nervous when you're working with him. And we're going to do some things with him to build his confidence and have that kind of go away, hopefully. Boost his confidence and get him a little more outgoing. Break. Sit. Yes. Break. lot of freedom and not really have to listen to their owners, when you start implementing rules, and if you've read some of our posts, you know, it's a repeat of that in a way, is that they don't want to do it, right? Break. But with just patience and repetition, they learn they have to. Sit. Yes. Good boy. So after you've done the command several times, you know, I mean, he knows it. Then I'm gonna take the word out and just press and hold the remote. And when he goes into a sit, I'll say yes and come off the button. Break. Yes. Good boy. Break. Yes. So normally I wouldn't be holding it up, but I'm holding it up so that you can see that it lights up and I'm pressing and holding. Break. And normally, you know, I'd have a little more room to move around with him. Yes. Good boy. Break. To get him a little more. Yes. You know, a little more motivated. Break. Good. Yes. Okay, so you would do that. So basically, we primed him. We did the command over and over. You know, he knows it. Good. Break. He knows the sit command, okay? So, then we're just, you know, they kind of get in the groove of doing that thing, and they're just happening to feel something, you know, like tapping or tickling. Good sit. Paired with that, you know, and then we add back the command. Let's go. Break. Good boy. So I would say sit. Yes. Good boy. Break. Sit. Yes. Right? So he begins to understand that the pressure from the remote is the same as the pressure from the leash. When we used to, you know, when we first were teaching him sit, we didn't use the sit command. We just used leash pressure, okay, and food to lure him. And then we added the, once he was doing it well, we added the command back in, okay? So now we're kind of replacing this with this. Now, this is still on in case we need it, in case he gets confused or he's like, I don't want to do that. You know, we can still use some leash pressure. Break. Sit. Yes. Good boy. It's all about taking the food, though. There you go. Break. Good boy. So, again, this is sit. Yes. This is just beginning, just introing him to the sensation of the remote collar. Again, low-level remote collar training. Over time, we will, you know, we're going to do thousands and thousands of repetitions and teaching him about this, and teaching him also that, you know, it's the same down. Yes. That it, you know, this is a great way to communicate with your dog, and that you don't have to be holding on to something, and you can be across the room or across the yard and communicate with your dog, right? Also, in terms of like holding them accountable for the things that you've taught them. If they don't listen, it's a great tool to be able to correct them with. And you don't, again, you don't have to be right there, right next to them. You can be across the yard, across the room, or in another room, or outside or inside when they're outside, you know, whatever. But just a great tool. It's not what a lot of people think. You know, a lot of people think shock collar, oh my gosh. But again, low-level remote collar training. It's just a sensation, okay? When we get to the point where we know that he fully understands everything, and then at that point he is just breaking command because he just doesn't want to do what you want to do, yeah, then we roll up a little and there's a correction, all right? But regardless whether you're using a remote collar or not, you still have to hold your dog accountable, and there has to be consequences when they blow you off. Otherwise, what's their motivation to not blow you off? Not much, right? So anyway, if you have questions about this, this is the sit and the beginning of remote collar training with Gideon. Feel free to, post in the comment section or email me at info@gooddogcoaching.com. Love to help you answer any questions that